If you have been following me for a while, you're no stranger to how much I love to talk about colors and dusting my sugar flowers. I hear from my followers and students that it can look difficult and intimidating, so today I'll be using my flexible Gumpaste daffodil to share with you the basics of dusting, and hopefully through my explanation, you'll take the first small step and realize that it is actually really fun and not intimidating at all. Hi, my name is Winifred. I spent the last 13 years exploring colors, sugar flowers and cake design, and I love sharing everything I've learned with fellow cake artists. On this channel, you'll find plenty of tips that sets you up for an easier learning journey ahead. I truly believe in breaking down difficult concepts into simpler terms so that this creative journey can be more fun and enjoyable. So once you're ready, let's begin. Okay, so for our daffodil, we have two parts to it. The center part over here, which is the darker yellow, and we have the lighter one. So since dusting requires us to dust from the lightest to the darkest, let's start with the petals first. You can either attach them together, like all the petals coming together before dusting if you need to see the entire picture. But just for this case, because I'm going to explain to you guys one by one, I'm going to dust them separately and then tie them together. But you can do either way. Okay, so for the petals itself, the dusting is pretty straightforward and simple. Think about our 5-petal filler flower. It's like yellow, lighter yellow, and then we go like darker yellow. So since these colors are so light and the final color is also pretty light, you can think of it as like just needing the foundational color, which is what we mentioned earlier in all the previous videos. So let's start by taking our honeysuckle out. So just a very light yellow, and then I'm going to add in some of my white dust, which is my cornstarch. Okay, let's do one by one. Let's pull out some of our yellow dust into a new area here. So if you're unsure, you can always just do a quick test. Okay, it looks pretty good. Really very light. You can see that the difference is so little, but I do see the difference for sure. But because of this, I might just go a bit darker because I want it to be darker. And similarly, like our hydrangeas, you want to follow the line of the veining for the daffodils too. So if the petals or the veining goes this way, you don't really want to dust it horizontally, because it will look very awkward. So dust in this manner, and I always like to go bottom up, and I go stronger at the bottom here as for the colors. Because when you put them together, the bottom is always the part that doesn't really get too much sunlight. So think of it from that angle and you will realize that, oh yes, the bottom part is stronger because it's kind of hidden by the center part of the flower. And the light hits here. So this part is lighter and this is stronger. So yeah, so you can see the difference between the dusted and the non-dusted one. Now the difference is more. Okay, so with that down, we're gonna do the same to all 6 of them. Okay, so on to the last one. After I dust my petals, I like to just put them in a group in this way, so you can also kind of check out whether they are similar looking or if any one of them requires more dusting or if they look cohesive together. I'm pretty happy with them. Right now, let's move on to the center part. So after dusting, you can see that the lighter colors has gone closer to the original color of this center. So for this guy, we are going to dust it even darker than this, so they do stand out. like that. Okay, so I think we can just go with our regular honeysuckle first, although I feel the color might be too similar. Okay, yes, a little bit too similar. So let's start with something darker. Let's add in our sugar maple here. So because the base is darker, we then have to start with a darker base color. So that's one of the reasons why most of my petals I like to start them lighter, because the highlight is stronger. Okay, there we go. Okay, so darker yellow. I also do want some of the highlighted parts here to show. So you can see there are the frills part, like some parts are really light. So if you just put it against the light, you can already see the lighter parts and the darker part. So I want to keep those parts light. So the bottom part always stronger in color. So we're going to try to reach all the way to inside to make sure the bottom part is dark. So if you need, you can put more of the sugar maple, which is the stronger yellow. Okay, then as I pull the color upwards here, because this ruffles part, right, is so wriggly, it actually presents quite a bit of opportunity for me to bring out both the dark and light parts. As you can already see from here, the ones that fold back more are lighter, the ones that fold inward more are actually darker. So I can just follow that as my cue and try to bring that part out more, or like the difference out more. So something like that. So still keeping some parts really light. Before we continue, I'd like to quickly share something with you. If you want to build real practical skills in sugar flower making with clear guided structure, I've created an online course that teaches you everything step by step. You'll be making my signature flexible gum paste, 9 different sugar flower elements, coloring and designing a complete floral cake design from scratch. You'll get 34 in-depth tutorial videos, including detailed explanation on making and dusting, so it is easy to understand and apply. Expect bonus lessons on handling, fixing, and storing your flowers. In other words, I'll help to remove all the confusion you may have when it comes to making sugar flowers. And all my students can attest to that. You will also receive a workbook with templates, color guides, and resources to help you on this journey. Free resources can be helpful, but they are often scattered. This online course gives you a clear learning path plus ongoing support from me and a global student community. And once you join, it is yours forever with lifetime updates. Access it anytime, anywhere, and I'll be there to answer all your questions. If that sounds helpful, check out the link in the description box or scan the QR code above. Alright, now back to the tutorial. And lastly, I just want to add on one more accent color so they really do stand out from the rest, and this is like my orange color. So learning from the previous videos, if the orange is too strong, we can mix back a little bit of this yellow. So just taking just a tiny bit of orange. So I don't want it to be too heavy-handed, just a little bit at a time first. So maybe a little bit more yellow than orange. So find your own balance of these two colors. And then if you want, you can also start from beneath, just adding some orange into the bottom part. And then just bring it up like what you did. And the really cool thing is you can also then go ahead and highlight the edges by adding the orange, but brushing it from outside in. So brushing it this way, in. When you're adding the last accent color, remember you only want about like 30% of it, so don't overdo it. If you overdo it, then everything is going to be the same color. So just focus more on wherever the edges you want it to be, and really those parts that are really stronger in color, leaving the lighter ones as they are. And this way you can really see them stand out. So just putting it next to our petals, you can see the difference between the two yellow. So, okay, so I'm really happy with the difference that I'm seeing. Now I'm ready to tie everything together. So for the daffodil, if you look at the shape itself, generally it is like 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So that forms the 6. So personally for me, I like to attach like 1, 2, 3 first and then the next 3. Because they are on wires, they are usually quite flexible. Just get a rough idea will do. So now the wires look like that. If I were to not bend them, and in order for me to attach them, I need to bend these guys to almost like a 90 degree, and that way they can fit in here nicely. So that's my one, and then I will choose another one. You can use either side. Personally for me, I'm not too fussy about, because I feel like both sides looks good. So sometimes even within the same flower itself, I will use like interchangeable sides. So that's 2. And then I have my third one. Maybe this one goes this way. And 3. Also, when you try to attach just 3 together, it's easier to handle like 3 wires than like 6 wires constantly moving around. Okay, so I have my floral tape. I'm going to stretch my floral tape. And then wherever they meet at the bottom of this trumpet bell bottom part, I'm going to start twirling my floral tape around. And a few twirls into it, you want to maybe just do some minor adjustments to make sure they kind of still stays in the place that you want before you go any further. Okay, so that's 3. Okay, and then now onto the next 3. I'm just gonna bend my wire again so it will fit in here. So this is completely up to you. You can allow your petals to just all fall within the same plane, or sometimes some of my students prefer that the top 3 are like higher up and then the bottom 3 is like lower. So when you take a look at the side, there's like 2 planes. But some of them prefer just one plane, so when you look at it, they are like flat. So like one plane this way. So this is completely up to you, personal preference. I like to tie them together first and then determine later how many planes do I want. So let me just put this together. So slot into the empty slots. And then my last one goes here. Sometimes I feel daffodils reminds me of orchids as well, because the way of assembling is the same, just that the cutters are different. So it looks pretty good. I'm then going to just attach the floral tape from the bottom and then tie them together. Okay, then let's just do our final adjustments. So this was my first 3. I actually quite like that they are on top and then the 3 goes at the bottom, because I feel like it gives a better dimension, like more 3-dimensional to it. But if I want it to be plain, I can do that too, but maybe they will look bigger for this flower. So for this flower itself, I think keeping it closer and 2 planes, they look better. So when you look from the side, 1 plane is this, so they are closer to the center. And then the 3 behind will be our second plane, which is slightly. So from the side, you can see that there is more dimension, like 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is good. So now we are attaching them this way. Usually daffodils, the stem goes like directly 90 degree. So if let's say you want this part to be the top, you want to hold your plier this way. And then from here, just do a nice bend forward. Okay. Then this will be your daffodil. So go ahead and make adjustments if you need. So generally I use it this way for like my cake designs, because they are always facing forward. So not sure if you guys can see, but this one has like a stronger yellow, this one has a lighter yellow. So play around with all the different yellows, even within the same cake design. It's just a lot nicer when there's some variation. Okay, and that's it for our daffodils. Thank you so much for watching. What you just watched was a snippet of what is included in my flexible Gumpaste online course. If you're interested to find out more, scan the QR code on top of this screen or check out the description box below for more information. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know in the comment section and I'll reply you from there. For more daily updates, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and I'll see you in the next video.